Hello, everybody, and welcome to Mike Walsh Field, where tonight we will be bringing you Week 3 high school football action between two PIL teams. It is the home team, the Lincoln Cardinals, playing host to the Franklin Lightning. I'm Shane Downey, joined by my broadcast partner, Dave Hall. Dave, you covered the game last week. Lincoln, tough luck losers. They scored plenty of points. Unfortunately, gave up more.
You know, a game with 103 points, and the Cardinal put up 42 and lost by 19. That was a pretty amazing game. The other thing about tonight, Shane, obviously this is a PIL league game. The Franklin Lightning are already 0-1. They lost their season opener to Cleveland. And Lincoln, this is their first PIL game. Both of these teams tonight are going with their backup quarterback. Both teams have lost their first team quarterback, including the Cardinal losing Jake Lightgeb.
Yes, Jake Lightgeb, who's averaged over 300 yards in his first two games, actually was out towards the end of last week's game. He was replaced by the backup quarterback. That's Mario Ambrose. Ambrose will get the start tonight. Doesn't have a lot of experience, but we talked to head coach Jeremy Johnson before the game. He got all the reps in practice this week preparing for this Week 3 matchup.
I saw the play, you know, I did the game last week. I saw the play where Lightgeb was taken out and Ambrose came in, and he looked pretty good running the offense near the end of that game. Of course, he is an offensive starter normally. He's a wide receiver, and then he plays defensive back. So he's not somebody who's coming in cold. He's been playing both of the first two games. The Lightning have gone most season with Jake Rowe, and tonight they're going to go with another senior, Ian Dayanen. So we'll see how this shakes out. But both teams will have backup quarterbacks tonight.
Yeah, for the Lightning, they come into the game with an overall 0-2 record. They have been outscored by quite a bit, losing last week 0-64. But despite that, we talked to our old friend Wes Warren, who have coached to a very successful few seasons here at Lincoln. He is now the head coach of the Franklin Lightning. He says morale, despite the big loss, very high, and their motto for this season, togetherness. Struggled getting along a bit last season, but this season, a different story. Despite the 0-2 record, I think this is going to be a good game, especially with both backup quarterbacks out there.
You mentioned they've been outscored by a bunch. It's actually 95-14, so they've not put many points on the board themselves. The Franklin Lightning last week threw the ball 3 times, and so this will be more of what we were used to seeing with Wes Warren as the head coach here at Lincoln.
Exactly. For those of you who have been following Lincoln football in the Wes Warren years, you know that he likes to run the ball, and nothing has changed out there, now head coach of the Franklin Lightning.
Very quickly, for you people, Lincoln fans who've been with the Cardinals for a long time, a name that'll be very familiar to you is Nick Osmo, the outstanding running back from the Cardinals. He is now with the Montana Grizzly, is playing a lot at running back and scored a touchdown last week. So congratulations to Nick.
Yeah, no surprise to me. Nick Osmo was a star here for the Lincoln Cardinals, now getting it done at the next level. We're just a few minutes away from game action. Let's step aside for our nation's national anthem. Maybe they're not quite ready.
Well, they're bringing the flag out.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Lincoln Band.
Excellent job, as always, by the Lincoln High School Band. Let's take a moment to tell you about our friends at Washman. Wash it at Washman. Enjoy a sparkling clean car in only 3 minutes. Save time, save water, save rivers, and wash smart at Washman. It's better for your car and for the environment. Now with 12 convenient locations to serve you. Wash it at Washman. Founded in 1984, Trailblazer Foods is one of the Western United States' largest producers of preserves, jellies, and other sweetener and fruit-based products. Trailblazer Foods wishes Lincoln Cardinal football great success for 2019. Call them today at 503-666-5800 or check them out online at trailblazerfoods.com.
Interesting note here. Home game for the Cardinal. The Cardinal will be in their black uniforms, red helmets with white trim. The Lightning will be in white uniforms with maroon trim.
Yeah, with those maroon numbers on the front and back and those new helmets with that Lightning logo. Pretty good look for them, making the change. Formerly the Franklin Quakers. Let's see if we can get it right throughout the whole game. I don't know. I think we should have one gimme.
Okay, is there an over or under on how many times we say the Quakers?
If it's 1.5, I'll probably take the over, but we'll strive for the under.
All right.
So just a few moments away from game time action. If you're just joining us, Lincoln Cardinals and the Franklin Lightning in this PIL matchup. The Lightning coming into the game with an 0-2 overall record. They've lost one of those games in league play for the Lincoln Cardinals. Their first league matchup here against Franklin.
It's like there's been a role reversal here. The Cardinal used to run the ball, now they pass the ball. The Franklin used to pass the ball, now they run the ball.
Enjoy a sparkling clean car.
So Wes Warren now on the other side of the ball, on the other side of the field. Of course, Franklin, the away team, on the far side of the field. On the top of your screen, Lincoln on the near side. For the Lincoln Cardinals, talking to head coach Jeremy Johnson before the game, he mentioned there's been some significant standouts on their offense. We've talked about Lightgeb. He's out today. However, on the receiving corps, Vidakovic has been excellent. Charles Wilmot has been excellent, both receiving and out of the backfield. They need to add to their arsenal, he said. So they're hoping a few other people on the roster can participate and contribute throughout this ball game.
Let me give you some stats after 2 games, just a couple that I have. Lightgeb is 43 of 74 passing for 614 yards. In the rushing department, Wilmot 24 carries, 115 yards. Kopetz 10 carries, 39 yards. Last week against Southwood, the stat that I really wanted to tell you about was the one last week. Vidakovic was 10 receptions, 190 yards, and 4 touchdowns.
And Charles Wilmot back to receive.
Wilmot and Vidakovic back to receive. Lincoln will be moving right to left to begin the game. And I believe it's number 82, Hawk Baxter, to kick off for the Lightning.
Baxter will kick off.
So just about ready to go. The lights are on. We don't expect any rain, although there is some clouds in the sky.
Coach Warren said if we're going to watch a player on the Franklin roster, watch number 1, the wide receiver, Isaiah Rickard.
Line drive kick, and it's going to go through the hands. It's picked up in the end zone, now out to the 10-yard line. He finds a hole, gets it across the 25, and that ball traveled much further than anticipated, as it initially took a bounce at about the 40-yard line, somehow made it to the end zone. But Lincoln will start out with pretty good field position. Once again, Mario Ambrose will get the start at a quarterback. We've seen him previously at the wide receiver position, but due to the injury to Jake Lightgeb, has a little bit of a hip issue, should be short term. So we'll see if Lightgeb returns next week. But this week, Ambrose has the reins. He's under center. Man in motion. They hand the ball off, some trouble on the exchange, and stood up there. Looks like he got back to the line of scrimmage. That was Philippi. So 2nd and 10.
2nd and 11.
Oh, no. Knocked it back a yard. 2nd and 11 after all. One offensive play so far. Almost a minute off the clock. 12-minute quarters here in high school football action. Ambrose remains under center. Takes a snap, looking to his right, has a man, it's caught, but not a big gain there.
Ambrose's pass will be complete. Gain of about 3.
Philippi with the catch and run, but nowhere to go.
3rd and 9.
3rd and 9. 10.5 minutes remaining here in the first quarter. Lincoln just looking to move the ball, move the chains in this opening possession. Quarterback drops back, looking to his left, has a man, caught there, but it's going to be well short of the first down. The reception goes to Vidakovic. 4 yards on the play, up to the 35-yard line. And we've seen Jeremy Johnson go for it in scenarios like this, despite being in their own territory.
Well, not only have they lost Lightgeb as the quarterback, he's also the punter. So let's see who's handling those duties tonight.
Well, doesn't look like they're going to punt here.
Well, they'll shift. I think they'll quick kick out of this. They shift into it.
4th down and 2. Let's see what they decide to do. Here's the snap. They're going to run it, and looks like they're going to get enough.
Wow.
On the ground. It goes to number 11, Matt Philippi, who has had several offensive plays so far.
Well, I tell you, last week the Cardinals did that. They ran on 4th down. Now they open this game running on 4th down deep in their own territory.
Hand it off, trying to get to the outside edge. He's stood up there, but stays on his feet. Keeps chugging along, gets back to the line of scrimmage and a little bit more. It looks like 1 yard on the carry. So 2nd down and 9. And if that 4th down play doesn't go the way of the Cardinals, Franklin would have loved to start their first possession deep in Lincoln territory.
Lincoln likes to send the flanker back in motion on a fly sweep, and that's what they run Wilmot that time. No gain.
The star of the offense so far, Vidakovic, on the near side of the screen. It's not going to go to him this time. Once again, they keep it on the ground for a short yardage carry.
Get him about 2. 3rd down.
So 3rd down. About 7 yards to go from the 42. Lincoln from the far hash going right to left. 4 minutes off the clock here already in the first quarter. Lincoln with 1 first down on a 4th down conversion.
Vodakovic out here on the left, one-on-one.
Man in motion. They hand it off to him. Gets outside. Finds a hole across the midfield. Knocked out of bounds there by number 7 of the defense. That's Hernando Magalhães.
1st and 10 on the 44.
1st and 10 now in Franklin territory at the 44-yard line.
That was the exact same play they ran the other way last time. This time they brought Wilmot in motion to the near side of the field, and he picked up 14.
So Mario Ambrose under center, moving the ball. Wilmot in motion again. They're going to hand it off to him to the far side of the field. Takes a cut across the 40. Gets right up to the 40, excuse me. 4 yards on the carry. It'll be 2nd and 6 to go.
2nd and a long 5.
Clock continues to run. Are you surprised, Dave, by how much they're running the ball here early on?
No, I think this is a way, you know, to kind of get Ambrose going in the game, not do anything risky.
Yeah, we definitely see a different game plan than what we saw the first 2 weeks with Lightgeb under center. Here's another run. Philippi tries to get outside, spins forward for maybe a yard.
No game.
When we talked to Coach Johnson before the game, he said Philippi is one of the people we're going to utilize tonight. That's his 3rd carry.
Yeah, he has been busy here on this first possession.
But
opening quarter, no score.
3 carries, 3 yards.
Third and 5. Some trouble. It's a lot of bodies there. The quarterback's going to take it himself, and he's going to get plenty for the first down. I'm not quite sure he intended on keeping that one.
It looked like there was supposed to be a handoff, and the back wasn't there.
He looked one way, he looked another. There was no one to hand it off to. He said, I might as well take this myself, and he got the job done.
9 yards for a first down.
So up to the 30-yard line. Lincoln continuing to move the ball. Haven't had any clock stoppages. Clock continues to run. Moving quickly here in the first quarter. Ambrose under center, looks to his right, has a man, stays on his feet, escapes the tackle, gets outside the numbers, knocked out of bounds near the first down marker. That pass goes complete to Charles Wilmot.
Remember how I said they're going to try to keep things easy for Ambrose? He's 3 of 3 passing.
If he's short, it's not by much. Yeah, the passes for Ambrose have been quick, either slant patterns or immediate passes on the outside. Nothing downfield. Little screen pass to Wilmot. Gets 9 and maybe 9.5 yards on that play. Wilmot in motion now, and we have our first penalty of the game. Looks like Lincoln is going to back up 5 yards.
As great as a receiver as Vodakovic has been so far this year, he's drawing single coverage from Franklin. Out there on him is Camarion Talton, the junior defensive back, and boy, they must have a lot of faith in him.
Yeah, that was one of the players that head coach Wes Warren of the Lightning specifically mentioned to look out for in this game. He will be playing on both sides of the field. So Mario Ambrose coming from the sideline, back to the huddle, relays the play to his teammates. Now they're ready to go. No score here. Opening drive for the Lincoln Cardinals. Quarterback drops back, looking deep for the first time, has a man in the end zone, and it's caught for the touchdown. Marko Vidakovic in the far side corner hauls it in, and Lincoln takes an early 6-0 lead.
Franklin 0.
Vidakovic just switched sides that time. Talton wasn't on him. He was the defender on the other side, and he just ran right by the defender.
He looked like he had some help. There was two defenders as that ball was coming down, but not close enough.
Kicking is Spencer Davies.
Here's Spencer Davies. They're gonna go for two, but that's a busted play. And the score will remain 6-0 in favor of the Lincoln Cardinals. Let's take a moment to tell you about some of our sponsors. The Daily Feast is a hub for quick and affordable eats, serving the Lincoln community since 2016. Breakfast, lunch, brunch, and after-school specials at 837 Southwest 11th Avenue. Go Cards. We also have our friends at Wacker Remodel. When you look to remodel or upgrade your home, you want to work with a trusted, certified remodeling professional. Homeowners in the Portland metro area have selected Wacker Remodel for over 30 years to provide them with efficient, high-quality craftsmanship for all phases of remodeling. Call Scott Wacker today at 503-539-9650 for a free consultation. Go Cardinal football.
Cardinals had the ball for 6.5 minutes on that drive. Ambrose went 4 of 4 for 47 yards.
Couldn't ask for anything better if you are a Lincoln fan. Milk the clock and put points on the board.
Cardinal were trying to get back in the game last week against Southridge. They scored, kicked off, and gave up a 92-yard return for a touchdown. Let's see if they've shored up the kickoff return team.
Spencer Davies kicking right to left for the Lincoln Cardinals. Two men back to receive. It's a deep kick, end over end, caught at the 5-yard line by number 1. That's Isaiah Ricard. He's going to get up near the 30, stay on his feet, across the 30 now, spins forward up to about the 34-yard line, 29 yards on the return.
Coach Warren told us specifically to watch him. He's 6'1" and a junior.
Showed some good footwork there. And now we will see what the Franklin offense can do. They were shut out a week ago, scored 14 points in the opener against Cleveland. They have their backup quarterback starting the game. He's a senior. He's Ian Dayanen. He's going to hand off. First play up the middle, finds the hole, and that's a first down, powering through. Number 13 of the offense.
Number 13 with the carry, good for
The problem with that, Dave, there's no 13 on our roster.
Well, that was number 30.
If it was,
Nick.
that would be Nick Jusen. You know, I do have an eye appointment next week. Maybe I got to get my eyes checked.
Me too. I have one next week too.
All right. Here's the snap, handoff once again. Keeps it himself, gets around to the outside edge. Oh, there's 13 out there, Dave. He was in the backfield.
Okay, well, I was watching 30 specifically.
Either way, we have a 13 on the field. So
we don't have one on the roster.
We'll try to track down who that young man is. I do see 30 out there as well. He's the tight end listed on our roster. So one man in the backfield. Already we see some things a little different from the West Warren we're used to. With two wide receivers on the outside. Quarterback's going to keep it himself here on third down for a short gain. That was second down, excuse me.
We have about 2.
So 2 yards on the carry across midfield. It'll be third and about 5 yards to go. So Franklin, we know they're going to keep it on the ground, but the quarterback, he may not throw it very often, but you can see he's got some wheels.
The down and distance isn't working on the scoreboard, so.
So Lincoln gets set defensively. One man in motion for Franklin. They fake the handoff. Quarterback keeper again finds a hole. Gets strung up right at the first down marker. He gets enough. So 3 carries already for the quarterback, Ian DeAnnon. And they'll move the chains. 1st and 10 from the 43 in Lincoln territory.
3 carries, 13 yards for DeAnnon.
Lunch and after-school specials. 8:37 Southwest 11.
3 minutes on the clock as it continues to run here in the first quarter. Game is going quickly. Another handoff up the middle. Spins forward is our mystery man, number 13.
13 with the carry, good for about 6.
And I get the sense you can hear the PA announcer, Dave.
Yeah.
I don't think he knows who number 13 is either.
Hi.
We want to give you credit, young man, but we're just working with the information we have. So 2nd down, 2nd and 5 from the 38-yard line. And Lincoln's had no trouble moving the ball. Or excuse me, Franklin. A late pitch, the ball is loose. Lincoln fell on it. Let's see if how they call that. If it
Looks
was
like
forward
Matt
or
Philippi.
backwards.
Matt Philippi has the ball and held it up. What a dangerous pitch.
It certainly was. Are they ruling it a backwards pass is the question.
Well, it appears that
Yeah, it looks like they're switching things up. So that's a turnover. So that's officially a fumble and then a fumble recovery by Lincoln. So that is quite the turn of events as Franklin was marching down the field and then a careless turnover. Lincoln back with the ball. They hand it off up the middle. Spinning, staying on his feet is Philippi. Stretches at the end up to the 49-yard line.
Good for about 8.
Gets about 8 yards on the carry. Just under 2 minutes on the clock here in the first quarter. Lincoln leading it 6-0.
Lincoln effectively on their first drive mixed up passes and runs. On the other end, Franklin on that drive, that time, no passes.
2nd and 2. Once again, if you're just joining us, Jake Lightgeb out with a hip injury. Starting at quarterback, Mario Ambrose. He's under center for the Cardinals on their 2nd offensive possession. This is going to be a first down, could be a lot more. Breaking free. 20-yard line, pushed out of bounds. Finally, Philippi, and perhaps a late tackle, but no flag there.
Give Philippi 41 yards on the carry that time.
Big play. And we're seeing Philippi get much more involved in the offense here in the early going.
5 carries, 53 yards.
So now in the red zone, Lincoln. Led by Mario Ambrose, looking to add to their lead. 1st and 10 from the 13. Quarterback under center, 2 receivers set, now 1 man in motion. They're going to hand it off to Wilmot. He finds a hole, and he's going to get in very cleanly. He hands the ball gently to the referee before he begins to celebrate with his teammates and adds 6 more points on the board for the Lincoln Cardinals, who now lead it 12-0.
13 yards on the carry that time for Charles Wilmot and the touchdown.
So Wilmot, who's been one of the stars of the show here early on for the Lincoln offense. With the score, they fake the kick, they throw it into the end zone, it's incomplete.
The Lincoln pass intended for Vidakovic.
So Vidakovic, the intended receiver, Philippi trying to get in on the action, throwing that time. So no extra point attempts, and it's 12-0. Let's take this moment to tell you about some more of our sponsors. Phil's Meat Market. When you want the highest quality meats and seafood, come into Phil's Meat Market and Delicatessen, Portland's original neighborhood butcher shop. Located in the Uptown Shopping Center on Northwest 23rd Place and Burnside. We also have our friends at Moronis Analytics. Founded in 2002, Moronis Analytics specializes in damage analysis for litigation, business valuation, and forensic accounting. We are a group of financial professionals with diverse specialty credentials in forensic accounting and business valuation. Visit us online at www.moronisanalytics for more information. Go Cardinal football.
2 drives for the Cardinal, 2 touchdowns, 53 yards rushing for Philippi, 32 yards rushing for Wilmot.
12-0 as the sun is slowly setting. A little bit of a pink hue in the sky. You can see the construction out beyond the field. Lincoln High School is celebrating 150 years this year. It's a long time. 1 minute, 10 seconds on the clock. Here's Spencer Davies with the kick. End over end, caught at the 11-yard line. Running up the near hash, breaks free. Now across the 40, outside the numbers. And all the way across midfield. That was number 7 on the return, Hernando Magallanes.
Well, this is part of the problem that the Cardinal had last week, was not very good coverage on kickoff and punts, and great field position to start out for the Lightning.
So the Lightning, who were marching down the field prior to a fumble, have an opportunity now, but trailing 12-0, just under a minute remaining here in the first quarter. Lincoln on top. One man in motion, they hand it off, runs into trouble but stays on his feet. Now brought down from behind by Vidakovic. Kamarian Talton with the carry. Vidakovic in on the coverage on defense. And we have a player shaken up on the side of Franklin. I believe that's the ball carrier, Talton. And he tried to get up and then immediately was limping and came back down to the field. So we hope that young man is okay, but he does look a bit shaken up there down on the field on his back.
Cardinal came to the sideline, so obviously their injury is enough to get everybody off the field. Talton's the guy we were talking about that Coach Warren told us about, and also was taking Vidakovic one-on-one on pass defense.
Yeah, so that could be a big blow to them. He's trying to get up under his own power, and he is, but he's still limping a bit gingerly there. But hopefully nothing serious. 33.8 on the clock. For the Franklin Lightning, perhaps losing one of their big offensive contributors. Let's see if they're going to run a play here before the time runs out here in the first quarter. Looks like they are. Quarterback takes a snap. He's going to air it out, but it's high and incomplete. Intended for number 1, Isaiah Rickard.
5.3 seconds left to go here in the first quarter. Cardinal lead 12-0.
That quick screen pass overthrown. Third down. Third and about 7. And in motion, you'll see that a lot in the offense of West Warren. They fake the handoff. Quarterback's going to keep it himself, but he's under pressure. And it looks like a duo on the sack.
Brought down by Graham Joshi and others.
Loss of 4, it's going to bring up 4th down and 11.
At the end of 1, your score is Lincoln
That's the end of the quarter.
Franklin 0.
I believe it was number 89, Ram Joshi, in on the sack. And that indeed is the end of the first quarter. So 12-0. Lincoln leads it here in their home opener, game 1 of their league schedule, taking on the Franklin Lightning. Dave, what did you see there in the first quarter?
I saw the Cardinal with a very balanced offensive attack. You and I talked to Coach Johnson beforehand. I mentioned to him about last week when he told me they were going to run the ball more, and they actually threw it a lot more. But tonight, the attack has been very balanced. They're right now at about 90 yards rushing in the game, 50 yards passing.
You're absolutely right. One thing that was clear from the beginning that they were going to run the ball a little more with Lightgeb out. But so far, what we've seen from Mario Ambrose has been pretty good.
4 for 4 passing for 47 yards.
Can't ask for anything better than that. So 4th down, Franklin. Let's see if they decide to punt here. The offense is on the field. They're going to throw deep, and they have a man. It's caught. That is a reception given up for a 1st down. They go for it on 4th down and get plenty of yards on that play. And you can see Lincoln had a man back to receive, and he immediately started running to that side of the field once it was realized it was going to be a normal offensive play. But still, that's one of those balls you just throw it up, hope your receiver can come up with it. It was a jump ball, and the defender didn't really get in on the coverage.
30 yards on the pass completion.
Another handoff for a short gain. Trio of defenders in on the tackle. Excuse me. It was number 13, our John Doe, on the carry for the Franklin Lightning. Dave, you joined me pre-game talking to head coach talking to head coach Jeremy Johnson of the Cardinals, and I mentioned, did you change anything to prepare for the wing T offense of the Franklin Lightning? And he said, hold up, I'm not sure this is a wing T offense. And I ignorantly was just basing it off of what we saw historically from West Warren here in Lincoln. We're seeing something a little different here tonight.
Right, that doesn't look like a wing T there.
No, it certainly does not. And the ball is loose again. Lincoln fighting for it here at the bottom of the pile.
Franklin fumble. Recovered by Downey.
Looks like the quarterback managed to fall on top of it. So Ian Deannon, who is responsible for a fumble on their first possession, manages to hang on to that one. So after that big play, the offense has sputtered a bit, and it's now 3rd down.
Franklin going with 2 wide receivers, a slot receiver, a setback, and 2 tight ends.
They have certainly changed things up quite a bit. Quarterback throwing deep again. And it's caught in the end zone. Did he hand? Looks like it's incomplete.
Referee signaling incomplete. He might have been out of bounds. I think that's what he was signaling. He was out of bounds.
It looked like he came down with it, but out of bounds. Tough to tell from our vantage point. So an incomplete pass, but you can see, despite Franklin not traditionally throwing the ball quite a bit, I believe only threw it 3 times in last week's ball game. Well, they have a different quarterback playing tonight. That's Ian Deannon, and he can air it out if he so chooses.
He already has 3 throws.
Hawk back through the kick.
All right, so it's like a field goal attempt upcoming.
40-yard field goal.
40 yards, and it is no good. It had the distance,
Lincoln will take over, leading 12-0.
but couldn't line it up. That was number 82 on the attempt. That's Hawk Baxter. You don't see that kind of distance at this level, Dave, very often here in high school. So they might have something there with Hawk Baxter.
That coming at 10-12 left to go here in the half. Our score stays at 12-0. And the Cardinal will take over, and they'll take over at the 20-yard line. I'm sorry, at the 15-yard line.
Oh, it's at the 20. 1st and 10
okay.
from the 20. So Lincoln back on offense. Moving left to right now, just over 10 minutes here in the first quarter, leading at 12-0. Handoff getting to the outside on the far side of the field for a good gain, maybe short of the first down. That was number 11, Matt Philippi, with the carry.
It'll be close. Philippi being the workhorse now on offense on the carries.
Gain of about 9.
Definitely running the ball a little bit more tonight.
Second and
So
long.
Philippi doing a little bit of everything. Running back, tight end, defensive back. Gets 9 yards on the carry, and it's second down.
That's his 6th carry here in the first half for 62 yards.
So Jeremy Johnson wanted to add to the arsenal. Philippi, certainly a portion of that. Quarterback drops back, looking to his right. And closest man to it was a member of the Franklin defense. Number 5, that's the Indianan. So the quarterback playing on both sides of the field.
And Ambrose that time just wound up and let it go and overthrew everybody. His first incompletion.
Third down, just over 9 minutes remaining now here in the first half. Lincoln leading 12-0. Both teams starting their backup quarterback for the Lincoln Cardinals. It's Mario Ambrose. Keep the ball on the ground this time.
Good for a Lincoln first down.
It's a first down and a little bit more up to the 34-yard line.
First and 10 from the 34.
Driving into work this morning, Dave, it was nice and drizzly. I was worried we were going to get some rain tonight, but looks like it's going to stay away.
You just came from Hawaii. No wonder you're anticipating the worst.
I was in Hawaii a week ago at this time. A little bit nicer out there. Quarterback under center. Handoff trying to get to the near side of the field now. Little stiff arm action across the 45. Now has room and knocked out of bounds across midfield. A big run there by number 25, Charles Wilmot.
22 yards on the carry for Wilmot.
So Lincoln
Wilmot flips the field.
moves the chains yet again up to the 41-yard line, and now in Franklin territory. They got some big boys on the Franklin defensive line. One that stands out is Jamarius Jenkins. The senior stands in at 6'3". Handoff going up the middle. Could be close to a first down as he powers his way through
Philippi with the carry.
for about 8
good.
yards. Philippi with the carry.
That's good for about 9.
The Lightning are daring Lincoln to throw the ball. If you watch, they got their 2 safeties. As Lincoln comes to the line of scrimmage, they move one of those safeties up. They really only got 1 deep defender. You can see the safety moving up there now, the line of scrimmage.
And the interesting thing about that, you have to wonder if Wes Warren had insight on the Jake Lightgeb injury, as this one is caught. Now he's going to run clear across the field, try to turn the corner, and unable to do so. Finally thrown down by the defender. As I was mentioning, Dave, they perhaps were preparing for a game where Lincoln would throw the ball a little more than they have here in the first half.
Vidakovic's lined up on the right this time in a slot position. They threw him the ball out there, and he went all the way across the field trying to turn the corner on the left, was drugged down by behind. 3rd and 7.
It's tough to convert yardage when you run in that direction. Wilmot, the receiver, on the near side. Vidakovic now in motion. They hand it off to Vidakovic. He finds a hole enough for a first down on the near hash.
Good for a Lincoln first down.
Just inside the 30. So 1st and 10 from the 29-yard line.
5 different ball carriers have rushed for Lincoln.
Twelve to nothing in favor of Lincoln, looking to add on some more. 2 touchdowns and then a couple 2-point conversion attempts that failed. This is an incomplete pass. That was definitely a forward pass. No concern there.
2nd and 10.
So the clock stops with 6:32 remaining here in the first half. So Mario Ambrose, Matt Philippi, Marko Vidakovic, and Charles Wilmot, the stars of the offense thus far. Here's another run close to the first down marker, but he's going to fall short on 2nd down. Charles Wilmot with the carry. Third down from the 22-yard line. 3rd and about 2, maybe 2.5. Franklin, who were shut out last week. 0 on the board thus far. Here's another first down for the Lincoln offense.
Kopetz with the carry.
And it's Kopetz with the carry. I believe it's first of the game.
First and 10 from the 15-yard line.
Dave, as you know, but as some of our viewers may not, this will be the last season where Lincoln plays on this field as we know it.
There'll be a complete switch here. The school will move over here, and the athletic facilities will be to our right.
Quarterback has the man in the end zone. It's caught. Charles Wilmot with the reception. Another score for the Lincoln offense. They now lead it 18-0.
$15-yard touchdown pass. Ambrose to Wilmot.
So Ambrose, as we see what's likely to be another 2-point attempt. Direct snap, trying to get in. He does. It's Matt Philippi, the direct snap, and the keeper. So this time they managed to convert. And it is now 20-0 with 5:15 on the clock in favor of the Lincoln Cardinals. Let's take a moment to tell you about some of our sponsors. Of course, we have Washman. Wash it at Washman. Enjoy a sparkling clean car in only 3 minutes. Save time, save water, save rivers, and wash smart at Washman. It's better for your car and for the environment. Now at 12 convenient locations to serve you. Wash it at Washman. Founded in 1984, Trailblazer Foods is one of the Western U.S.'s largest producers of preserves, jellies, and other sweetener and fruit-based products. Trailblazer Foods wishes Lincoln Cardinal football great success for 2019. Call them today at 503-666-5800 or check them out online at trailblazerfoods.com.
Better for your car and for the environment.
5:15 on the clock here in the first half, 20-0 in favor of the home team, the Lincoln Cardinals, here in week 3 overall. Lincoln coming into the game with a 1-1 record. The Franklin Lightning 0-2, trailing big here in the first half. Here's a kickoff, line drive. Picked up there at about the 25, but once again, special teams, some trouble there for Lincoln. Breaks free and knocked out of bounds.
Number 15 with the return.
Justice Lowe saved 6 points that time for Lincoln by knocking the ball carrier out of bounds. And again, Lincoln struggles on kickoff coverage.
They sure have, and that's not even the intended ball carrier to return the ball, as that was a line drive kick. Perhaps they were trying to prevent a big return by kicking the line drive. Didn't quite work out for him that time. And it's our John Doe number 13 on the return.
John's having a great game.
Oh, absolutely. Handoff up the middle.
Number 13 with the carry.
About 4 yards on the carry. Goes to number 13 again.
I noticed the PA announcer doesn't say a name either.
Yep. We're in the same boat here. Sometimes in these scenarios, one person might have a little more info than the other. You check in with each other, but we can tell immediately. Asking the PA announcer won't help us. It's not like we can really go anywhere in this situation. 4.5 minutes remaining here in the first half. They spread things out. Quarterback's going to keep it after the fake handoff. Get near the first down marker. We'll see where they spot it. Ian Deannon taking the place of Jake Rowe, who's out with an injury at the quarterback spot. And they do indeed move the chains.
First and 10, Franklin from the 12.
First and 10, Franklin threatening to get points on the board after a big kickoff return. And then a quarterback keeper in the red zone. Lots of motion there. Now under pressure. Ball carrier taken down. Number 8, the defense for the Lincoln Cardinals. That was Brady Kopetz on the tackle. No gain on the play, second down.
Second and 11.
Oh, knocked back a yard. Ian Deannon awaits the snap. He's looking over the middle, now under pressure, and he takes the sack for a loss.
Kopetz with the sack.
Brady Kopetz with the sack.
Also in on the coverage, looked like number 32, Gus Togney. And so Franklin was really threatening, but had been knocked back on 2 straight plays. And it's third and long from the 20-yard line. You have to wonder if they just take a shot to the end zone here. And so they need almost all of that yardage for the first down anyway, although it's certainly possible they would go for it on 4th down here. They are going to look deep. Quarterback under pressure again, escapes, but he's not going to get nearly enough after a few yards.
Danny with the keeper. Prince and others with the sack.
Well, he needed 20 and he got 3.
So let's see what they decide to do here on 4th and long. We've seen already Hawk Baxter, their kicker. He didn't have the accuracy on a previous kick, but did have the distance.
So this will be a 35-yard attempt. 34.
They're going to go for it. Snap and hold look good. Has the distance again. And no good.
Kick is no good.
Wide.
Score remains Lincoln 20, Franklin 0.
Another thing, Dave.
Founded in 1984, Trailblazer Foods is one of
When Wes Warren was with the Lincoln Cardinals, I hardly ever saw them go for a field goal. We've seen 2 tonight.
Trailblazer Foods, which is Lincoln Cardinal football great success.
2 of them, one a 40-yarder, one a 34, both wide left.
It's clear that he has confidence in his kicker, but unable to convert, and remains scoreless with 1:46 on the clock.
First and 10, Lincoln from the 20-yard line.
Franklin has yet to score since week 1 of this season. Lincoln can control the ball here to finish the first half. Mario Ambrose under center. 2 receivers on the near side. Now Vidakovic in motion. They do hand it off to Wilmot, who gets swallowed up there near the line of scrimmage. Nice cool evening here.
Nobody's taken time out, and I don't remember, have we had any penalties here in this game?
We've had one that I remember. Quarterback drops back, looking to his right, airs it out deep, has a man, double coverage there. Oh, there was bodies flying all over the place. Intended perhaps for number 5, Marko Vidakovic, but over in that same area was Justice Lowe, and you saw him leap up.
Do you remember at the start of the game what Coach Johnson told us? He said, we're going to get Justice Lowe involved in the game tonight.
I can't blame him. Looked like he had some hops there on that play.
He is.
Justice Lowe stands in at 6'1", 160. Just a sophomore. There was another name he mentioned, another sophomore, Kai Presser.
Yes.
He wanted to get involved. Another handoff to Wilmot. Spins. About 5 yards on the carry. Under a minute now remaining. Little surprised no timeouts have been called. But now 4th down. Looks like they're just going to punt it away.
As I mentioned, with Lightgib out, he's done all the punting up till now, and probably 80% of it's been quick kicks. So let's see what they do. They are lined up in punt formation.
Philippi out there.
Southwest 11. Go card.
Well, also we have Vidakovic. Looks like they're going to milk the clock as much as possible. We don't have the benefit of a play clock. And then a timeout was called.
Timeout called.
Vidakovic kind of put his hands down, flapped them around a little bit. I think they were trying to draw the Lightning offside.
All right, let's take a moment to tell you about our sponsors. The Daily Feast is a hub for quick and affordable eats. Serving the Lincoln community since 2016. Breakfast, lunch, brunch, and after-school specials. 837 Southwest 11th Avenue. Go Cards. When you look to remodel or upgrade your home, you want to work with a trusted, certified remodeling professional. Homeowners in the Portland metro area have selected Wacker Remodel for over 30 years to provide them with efficient, high-quality craftsmanship for all phases of remodeling. Call Scott Wacker today at 503-539-9650 for a free consultation. Go Cardinal football. Vidakovic back to punt. It's a high snap. That's dangerous.
Kick it out of the end zone.
There. He's tackled near the end zone. There's 1.9 seconds left on the clock.
In that situation, with that predicament, you want to kick the ball out the back of the end zone and take a safety.
Well, now, I was thinking Franklin wouldn't have an opportunity to score here in the first half. They're going to have one play.
1.9 seconds to run it.
Where is the ball spotted exactly? Looks like the 4-yard line. So 1st and goal. They got just under 2 seconds. They have a chance. And you can feel the crowd. They know this is a big moment in this game. And now timeout called by head coach Wes Warren. So some last-second excitement here in the first half.
I realize, you don't want to, if you can avoid it, you don't want to concede points, but kicking that ball out of the end zone would have cost them 2 points instead of potentially 7 right here.
Yeah, really interesting spot. Once that ball got over the head of the punter, Vidakovic, he has good hands.
He can't jump that high, Shane.
I said he had good hands.
Right. He has good hops too, but not that much.
Sure does, but definitely a tough spot. So if you're head coach Wes Warren, you've been hunting for some points for a couple weeks now. You would love to convert here. Franklin, one play to go into halftime with the momentum. And we have another whistle. Looks like Lincoln's going to call a timeout. So
Timeout, Lincoln.
about 30 seconds ago, neither team had called a timeout.
Now Lincoln's used all of theirs.
Now they're just trading back and forth. So you get the sense Jeremy Johnson knows the importance of this upcoming play.
Analytics specializes in damage analysis for litigation, business valuation, and forensic accounting. We are a group of financial professionals.
If you're just joining us, as you can see, it's 20-0 in favor of the Lincoln Cardinals. 3 touchdowns. They've gone for 2 each time, converted 1 of the 3 times. And Franklin taking over on downs after a botched snap that was intended to be a punt on 4th down. And all of a sudden, they have the ball with 1.9 seconds to play, and I think we're actually going to get the play off this time. Quarterback has the snap. Going to keep it himself, and looks like he's going to be kept out of the end zone. So a nice defensive stop by the Lincoln defense. And Franklin will have to hunt for points in the second half. Lincoln will be kicking off to Franklin to begin the 3rd quarter. Well, first half went a little bit differently than I anticipated, at least until we got the news that Jake Lightcap was out for this game with a hip injury. One thing of note, it looks like Lincoln, number 26, perhaps walking off a little gingerly. That's Jack Franzen. He's being tended to by the trainer, but it looks like he's going to be okay. So what did you see there in that first half, Dave?
You know, again, I bring up the issue of balance, and Coach Johnson said we're looking for balance. Well, they had 3 touchdowns in the first half, 2 of them passing. One a pass from Ambrose to Vodakovich, one a pass from Ambrose to Wilmot, and 1 rushing touchdown by Charles Wilmot. And to me, it looked like a very balanced attack, very efficient attack. I only had 1 turnover in the whole first half, and that was a fumble by Franklin. So Lincoln played a very effective game in the first half. Now we'll see if they can keep that up.
You're absolutely right. They put up a lot of points. In fact, they've put up points every week thus far. 26 points in the opener, 42 points a week ago. On a pretty good pace here tonight. But you're absolutely right about the balanced attack of their offense. They were throwing and throwing often in those first 2 weeks, but changing up the game script today. But no one can argue with a 20-0 lead heading into halftime.
Fortunate defense there in the last minute, the last second of the first half, stopping the quarterback there on that quarterback keeper to prevent any points on the board for the Lightning.
So as you can see, some halftime entertainment here at midfield. We are at Mike Walsh Field, home of the Lincoln Cardinals. You know, we mentioned during that second quarter that this would be the last season here for the Lincoln Cardinals, at least playing at this field as we know it. Why don't you tell the listeners what's going on in that situation?
Well, as you know, they years ago they passed that $700 million bond measure to fix all the high schools in Portland, and they've been routinely doing that. Grant just moved back into their school this year. Well, the next school up is going to be Lincoln. They'll do that next year, and they're going to take and tear the school down. They're going to build a high-rise here where the football field is, and that'll be the school facilities. The athletic complex, including the football field and gym, will be over where the school is to our right now. And I think that's a 2-year plan, or is that a 3-year plan?
I'm not sure exactly. Whatever it is, it's going to be at least a few years to get that all completed. So we're not entirely sure where Lincoln will be playing football next year, but I'm sure it will be somewhere close by. So a farewell season to the field as we know it.
Bring your hammer for the last game, or bring your scissors and we'll cut up a little piece of the field.
I'm sure I can find something to bring along for the ride. Well, we're going to step aside for a few minutes, but stay tuned here for second half action here on Oregon Sports Beat. But before we go, we're going to tell you about some more of our sponsors. We, of course, have our friends at Phil's Meat Market. When you want the highest quality meats and seafood, come into Phil's Meat Market and Delicatessen. Portland's original neighborhood butcher shop, located in the Uptown Shopping Center on Northwest 23rd Place and Burnside. Wash it at Washman. Enjoy a sparkling clean car in only 3 minutes. Save time, save water, save rivers, and wash smart at Washman. It's better for your car and for the environment. Now at 12 convenient locations to serve you. Wash it at Washman. For Dave Hall and myself, Shane Downey, will step aside for halftime and be back in just a few minutes to bring you second half action here at Lincoln High School. All right, we are back here just a few minutes away from action here in the second half at Mike Walsh Field, where the Lincoln Cardinals are playing host to the Franklin Lightning. I'm Shane Downey, joined by my broadcast partner Dave Hall. He's going to bring you all the stats from the first half.
All right, here's the stats. We'll start with the Lincoln Cardinal. Mario Ambrose, 7 of 9 passing for 65 yards on the ground. Charles Wilmot, 8 carries, 66 yards. Kopets, 2 carries for 9 yards. Philippi, 8 carries for 75 yards, including that 41-yarder he ripped off. Ambrose, 9 yards. Vodakovich, 7 yards. Reception, Vodakovich, 3 for 38 yards and a touchdown. Wilmot, 2 for 25 and a touchdown. Total yards for Lincoln, that's 65 yards passing, 166 rushing, 231 total offense. For the Franklin Lightning, the quarterback, Dayanen, is 1 of 3 passing for 30 yards on that big play he hit. Rushing, let's see, Jusen is 2 for 13 yards. Dayanen has lost a bunch of yardage. He's 9 carries for 2 yards. Their leading rusher is number 13, John Doe. He has 3 carries for 9 yards. And then Talton, 1 carry for 2 yards. Total offense for Franklin, 30 yards passing, 26 yards rushing, 56 total yards. So total for the first half in total yards, 231 to 56.
So clearly two opposite ends of the spectrum as far as the offensive attack is concerned. You know, Dave, I stepped outside for just a few minutes during halftime. That speaker is blaring out there, and our fans can hear it right now. Lincoln loves to pump out the jams here, and they keep going off and on. I don't know if they're intended to do that or not, but either way, the teams are getting ready. We have 3 minutes on the clock before we will begin the second half. Head coach Jeremy Johnson, let's see what they come up with here in the second half. If you're the Franklin Lightning, you were shut out last week. You had some opportunities. They were driving, remember, Dave, on their first possession of the game, but gave up the ball on a fumble and then got a gift there at the end of the first half. They had one play to try to score from the 4-yard line, unable to convert. They kept it on the ground, and for the Lincoln Cardinals, they lead it 20-0 here, just moments away from second half action. Let's take a moment to tell you once again about some of our sponsors and our friends at Washman. Wash it at Washman. Enjoy a sparkling, clean car in only 3 minutes. Save time, save water, save rivers, and wash smart at Washman. It's better for your car and for the environment. Now at 12 convenient locations to serve you. Wash it at Washman. Founded in 1984, Trailblazer Foods is one of the Western United States' largest producers of preserves, jellies, and other sweetener and fruit-based products. Trailblazer Foods wishes Lincoln Cardinal football great success for 2019. Call them today at 503-666-5800 or check them out online at trailblazerfoods.com. Check out number 65. We got a few dancers. No, 65 gave up. But we got a few dancers. They're getting into this music here, Dave, on the Lincoln sideline. You
know, one of the things that might have affected Franklin in the first half was the loss of number 2, Kamarian Talton, early on when he went down on the injury. I haven't seen him back on the field. I was looking for him, but I can't make out across the sidelines. Yeah, outstanding quarterback and cornerback, and had looked like he was going to play at running back. So we'll see if that can be overcome in the second half. On the other hand, the Lincoln Cardinal mixing it up. They had a total of 5 different people carry the ball in the first half. They had 4 different people catch passes. Ambrose threw for 2 passes, two touchdown passes. I mean, one to Vodakovich and one to Wilmot. Wilmot scored a touchdown on the ground. So
you're absolutely right about Kamarian Talton. Not only is he an excellent football player, but on the track team, he's been setting records for the Franklin Lightning as far as the 100-meter dash is concerned. And it looked like a lower body injury, whatever it was, so hopefully that doesn't affect him long term.
I think Coach Warren told me that he set the record at Franklin for the fastest 100, and it was the 3rd fastest in the state, I think he said, this year. This is the thing we need to watch for Lincoln right here in front of us. They're going to kick off. And if anything, if you had something to say about something that went wrong in the first half for Lincoln, it was kickoff coverage.
You know, we were talking about Talton. I think he's on the field right now, back to receive on the near
that's
side
good
to
see.
us. So, Lincoln will kick off, kicking left to right from the far hash mark on that 40-yard line. They kick it into the second level. It takes a bounce, knocked out of bounds at about the 34-yard line. We see a flag there. I believe only our second flag of the ball game to start things out here in the third quarter.
Talton is on the field, so that's good to see. Rather than risk a run back all the way, the Cardinal kicked the ball, just a little pooch kick, and then it went out of bounds. So we're going to start here on the 45-yard line. And I think they did that kick intentionally.
Yeah, it certainly looked to be the case.
I said the 45. I meant it went out of bounds actually at the 39. That's where they'll start.
So 1st and 10 for Franklin. They're moving right to left now on the near hash mark.
And they need to reset the clock back to 12 seconds or 12 minutes because it was not.
You can see the referee on the sideline.
The clock did start running. The ref is.
See, that's a good point. The clock started running. Now they reset it back to 12 minutes. Nobody touched the ball, so there couldn't be any time run off the clock.
Yeah, so we're back to 12 minutes even. As the ball did go out of bounds naturally. Here's the snap to the quarterback. He's looking to his left. He has under pressure, stays on his feet, and he's going to run to the sideline, get knocked out of bounds. A big loss there.
On the tackle 4, that was Declan Skinner.
Ian Deannon, it looked like he wanted to throw the ball and then held on to it a little bit too long, and then under pressure tried to see what he could do with it on the ground, but unable.
He should have let that ball just go. He lost 5 yards on the.
All right, so now 1st and 10 from the 32-yard line after moving back quite a bit. Excuse me, 2nd and long. Quarterback, a late pitch, and the ball's on the ground. We've seen this before. Lincoln's going to land on it.
You're right. It was a late pitch. They were going to the far side of the field, pitched it, and our John Doe dropped it.
I think it was Wilmot who recovered the ball, and just a few seconds off the clock, and the Lincoln Cardinals will take over inside the 30-yard line.
Let's see if the Cardinal keep it on the ground. They're going to start at the 28-yard line.
All right, so 1st and 10. Quarterback under center. Vidakovic in motion. Lots of pressure there, but breaking free. Kopets with the carry. 2nd and 3, 20-0. Lincoln dominant thus far. All right, handoff up the middle. Short yard gain there.
It'll be close to the first down. He needed 4. Looks like he got about 3.
Carry.
So now back-to-back carries by Brady Kopets.
Remains 3rd and about 3.
Getting involved in the action. Still a few yards to go here on 3rd down. Another man in motion. Handoff up the middle, nowhere to go. It's going to be 4th down, and if we've learned anything about Jeremy Johnson here in the first couple weeks of the season, very likely to keep his offense on the field here.
4th down.
We do have Philippi checking in. coming off the field, number 26 for the Cardinals. That's Jack Franzen. And now Mario Ambrose returning to the huddle.
Notice that Ambrose comes to the sideline on every play. He's getting the call directly from Jeremy Johnson. No hand signals, no guards rotating.
2 receivers on the far side, and we have a whistle and a flag from the judge all the way in the end zone.
Usually that's a time violation. There it is.
It is delay a game on the offense. Once again, we don't have the benefit of a play clock.
The referee back there who's standing back in the end zone keeping the time is supposed to signal at 5 seconds. Little hand signal. I don't know if he did it that time or not.
So 4th down, that backs them up a little bit more. They're going to keep it on the ground, going for it on 4th down. They get some yardage, but doesn't look to be enough up to the 20-yard line. Without that penalty, it would have been close, but the penalty proving to be costly. And Franklin will take over on downs. So that's actually the second straight play, or second straight possession, I should say, going back to the end of the first half, where Franklin has managed to take over on downs. There's been 2 turnovers in this game, a couple of fumbles on pitch plays by Franklin. Franklin from their 21-yard line on the near hash mark will be moving right to left. Franklin spreading things out a bit. 2 receivers on the far side. 1 on the near side, 1 in the backfield. Now that man in motion. Handoff to the up back, and it's number 13 on the carry for a short gain.
Kenya C with the stop on number 13.
3-yard gain.
13's got to be over there listening to the PA announcer. Hey,
Yeah.
don't you know my name, bud?
Right.
Little does he know. He's John Doe. He's having a good game, though.
Well, he's the leading rusher. He has 12 yards now on the ground for Franklin.
Getting some opportunities. Just under 9 minutes here in the 3rd quarter. Quarterback keeper gets outside the numbers, has some room to run. Knocked down there at midfield. I thought he might have stepped out of bounds short of that, but they're going to get him across midfield up to the 49-yard line.
Dan, 26 yards on that carry.
So one thing about Ian Deannon that we've learned here thus far, he can get it done on the ground. We've seen a lot of quarterback keepers.
In the first half, he had 9 carries for 2 yards, but a lot of that was because of sacks.
Yeah, some sacks knocked him back, but we have seen some positive yardage from him. And here's a power run up the middle for about 5 yards on the carry. It'll be 2nd down.
Five yards on the carry that time.
2nd and 5 from the 44-yard line. One man in the backfield. Handed off to him. It's number 99. Up the middle. Patrick Churchill, the senior.
Pogney with the tackle.
3rd down. 3rd and 3.
Coach Warren told us to watch number 99. He's a tight end. That time a ball carrier, and picked up about 3.
Also a linebacker on the defensive side. Man in motion. Fake the handoff. Quarterback's going to keep it. He runs into trouble. Now pops outside. A little second effort, and it's going to be close.
Staying in with the keeper. Pogney again with the stop.
Looks, based on their current spot, I think they're just short.
It'll be 4th and short.
4th and less than a yard. They need to get to 38.5, and they're right at the 39.
Offense definitely staying on the field here. you're a Lincoln fan, we'll see if they can come up with a stop. Quarterback's going to keep it again. Looks like he got enough. Didn't need much. He was knocked back at the tail end of that play, but forward progress should give it to him.
Forward progress will be the key here. You can see the line judges stand.
And they are signaling a first down. DeYannon gets it done with his legs. First and 10 for the Franklin Lightning. I suggested the over. Perhaps the fans watching and listening should have taken the under on us referring to Franklin as the Quakers.
Well, we still
if we do it intentionally, I don't think it counts.
Yeah, we got 18 minutes left to go.
There's still time. Lots of finger pointing. We see a flag here.
Penalty flag on the play. It'll be a first false start on Franklin.
It is going to be on the Quakers with the false start. That'll back them up 5 yards. Back it up to the 44-yard line. It'll be first and 15.
A relatively penalty-free game. We've only had, I think, 3 penalties now in the game. One of them was a delay penalty, so we've had no pass interference, no holding.
There's been an increase. I know it's a small sample size, only 2 weeks, but there's been a significant increase in penalties overall in the NFL thus far.
Up
this
20%.
season. Quarterback's looking deep, near side, has a man, but into double coverage, and it looks like it may have been intercepted. It was, in fact, intercepted by Marko Vidakovic. He manages to haul it in. I just wanted to make sure he held on to it. And that's our 3rd turnover by the Franklin Lightning. Lincoln defense coming up big. That was a risky pass into double coverage.
Put it up in the air, got a lot of air underneath it, and you're right, he threw it directly into double coverage. Vidakovic comes up with the interception.
If he had a little more arm strength on that pass, we could be talking about a very different story. But it came up a little bit short, and the defender able to undercut the ball. And now Lincoln will take over with 5:23 remaining here in the 3rd quarter, already leading 20-0. Have yet to score here in the 2nd half, however. So a couple turnovers by Franklin here in the 3rd quarter. See if Lincoln can turn it into some points. Quarterback drops back. He's going to sling it out. He has a man, but overthrown. It was intended for the receiver. That's number 4, Justice Lowe.
Again, remember Coach Johnson's words. We're going to get Lowe involved in this case. That was just a flat-out fly pattern. Lowe was on the go. The pass was out to the 50. Lowe was only at the 47.
Just a little bit too far. Plenty of green out in front of them here on this artificial surface here at Mike Walsh Field, home of the Lincoln Cardinals.
Ambrose now 7 of 10 passing. Big hole.
All the way across the 30-yard line. Number 8 on the carry, that's Brady Kopetz. So a couple sophomores getting in on the action. It was Justice Lowe on the previous play, the intended receiver, and Kopetz with the carry. Kopetz a big kid, just a sophomore as I mentioned, but 6'3", 200.
Kopetz now 5 carries for 34 yards.
Handoff. Short yardage gain for Kopetz.
Pretty much the exact same play. They went right over right guard and right tackle in that gap right there. Kopetz saw the opening, blasted through it, picked up some yardage.
Yeah, you'll take that every time. They're going to give it to you. Such a different game thus far than what I anticipated coming into it. Here's another handoff. They're going to be short of the first down with Wilmot. So it'll be 3rd and about 2 upcoming. Lincoln running a little bit more than I anticipated. Franklin throwing a bit more than I anticipated.
Philippi now with 75 yards rushing. Wilmot with 71.
So there was a flag early on in that play. I wasn't sure if I was seeing things out of the corner of my eye, but it turns out there was, in fact, a penalty.
I haven't seen the call yet. Here we go. All right, it's on Lincoln. It's an illegal shift call.
So the illegal shift will back things up a bit. Back it up 5 yards up to the 31-yard line.
Remains 2nd down.
2nd down and 11 yards to go. Run the clock. Motion man, lots of bodies there. They hand the ball off for a short yardage gain once again to Kopetz, who's tripped up there after a few yards.
Johnson with the
When I was a kid, I was a fan of the Ohio State Buckeyes. They ran the T formation, and the formation they ran, it was called the belly series. And the quarterback turned around and running backs came by him, he put it in their belly, took it out if he wanted to. That's exactly what they just ran. Cardinal ran that as the quarterback turned around, faked to a couple of backs, pulled the ball out, put it in Kopetz, and Kopetz picked up 5.
Just over 3 minutes remaining here in the 3rd quarter. Some movement there. We see some more finger pointing. I think that's going to be on the offense. Number 57, Elliot Hendren, looked to move before the snap.
There it is. False start on the Cardinal.
The false start will make it 3rd and 11.
So a couple penalties on this drive for the Lincoln Cardinals. Now 3rd and long from the 31. Two receivers on the far side. Quarterback rolling right. Airs it out, but incomplete. Well short of the intended receiver, Vidakovic.
Remember early on in the game, 4th down, deep in their own territory.
4th down and 11.
The Cardinal went for it. Let's see what happens here.
It looks like some personnel switches out on the field. And we saw a previous punt attempt that went sideways and ended up with Franklin getting the ball on the 4-yard line. Certainly wouldn't want to repeat anything like that.
Last snap went over Vidakovic's head. Let's see if the Cardinals can get a good punt away this time and cover it.
Here's the snap. They do get a kickoff, and it's a good one. It's going to take a bounce at the 35. Now picked up there. In stride, now across midfield. Breaks a few tackles. Spun around from behind and taken down at the 39-yard line. So after all that, he kicked it deep, but they didn't really net any yardage.
They netted a yard. A yard. From where that ball was snapped and where the return came to, it was a yard short of that line of scrimmage.
Well, you see things like that, and you can't really blame Jeremy Johnson for going for it on 4th down, regardless of the situation.
Exactly. Cardinals will dig in here.
We've seen them come up with a few big defensive stops and 2 turnovers. Here in the 3rd quarter alone, 3 turnovers total in the ball game. And now we have a whistle, maybe a timeout. It is on the Lincoln Cardinals. That'll give us a moment to tell you about our sponsors and our friends at the Daily Feast. The Daily Feast is a hub for quick and affordable eats, serving the Lincoln community since 2016. Breakfast, lunch, brunch, and after-school specials, 837 Southwest 11th Avenue. Go Cards. When you look to remodel or upgrade your home, you want to work with a trusted, certified remodeling professional. Homeowners in the Portland metro area have selected Wacker Remodel for over 30 years to provide them with efficient, high-quality craftsmanship for all phases of remodeling. Call Scott Wacker today at 503-539-9650 for a free consultation. Go Cardinal football.
Cardinals scored 12 points in the first quarter, 8 in the second quarter. We don't have any score here in the third quarter.
Here's the snap.
Circle with the carry.
Carry off to the left. Just a few yards on the carry. It'll be second down. Franklin, after another big return, would love to convert that into points. They were shut out a week ago, nearing 3/4 of football here tonight with still a 0 on the scoreboard. They've had their chances. Man in motion now kicks it out behind the quarterback. They're going to hand it off and power their way up the middle. That's the West Warren kind of football we remember.
Circle with the carry. Franklin with the stop.
Want to remind everybody, next Friday night it's
They'll
the
bring a
Lincoln
third
Cardinal
and about 2.
and Summit. I have to check for sure and see whether John Mannion is still the coach there. They're a new school. He was the first coach. His son, of course, Sean Mannion, played at Oregon State. It is now the backup at...
You got me.
Is he the backup at the Rams?
You might be right. Jared Goff getting all the snaps there.
Yes.
Here's a quarterback keeper. He escapes a few tackles. That's going to be enough for a first down and plenty more.
That's good for a Franklin first down.
Into the red zone for the Franklin Lightning.
15 on the pickup for Danon.
Carrillo with the correction. Filippi with the stop.
Up to the 14-yard line on that far hash mark. Ian DeYannon, the quarterback, taking all the snaps here tonight. Quick handoff. Number 13 keeps the wheels turning.
You know, you can't say this is the best scoring opportunity that Franklin had because they had the ball at the 1 yard line with a second to go in the first half and couldn't punch it in.
With the stop.
In their defense, I don't think it was quite the one, but
You're
still,
right.
it's still a good opportunity that they had, but hard to score when you only have one opportunity. If they had a fresh set of downs and a little more time on the clock, who knows what they could have gotten done. So very fortunate for Lincoln that they only had a few seconds. Speaking of the time, time has expired here in the third quarter. No scoring here in the frame, but the score still remains 20-0 in favor of the home team, the Lincoln Cardinals. When you want the highest quality meats and seafood, come into Phil's Meat Market and Delicatessen. Portland's original neighborhood butcher shop, located in the Uptown Shopping Center on Northwest 23rd Place in Burnside.
Go Cardinal football.
Founded in 2002, Moronis Analytics specializes in damage analysis for litigation, business valuation, and forensic accounting. We are a group of financial professionals with diverse specialty credentials in forensic accounting and business valuation. Visit us at www.moronisanalytics.com for more information. Go Cardinal football.
Well, Shane, 103 points last week, 20 this week.
A little bit different game. I know you were flying solo with the game last week. I was enjoying watching the game from my hotel room bed.
All right.
I watched a few minutes and then I remembered I was in Hawaii, so
Right.
I went and
Right, I'll be there in 2
enjoyed
weeks.
the
My
area.
daughter's getting married, so I'll go and I'll enjoy some of that
Second
too.
and 5.
well, congratulations to her. Here's a throw into the end zone and may have been picked off. They're going to say it's incomplete.
Pass
In on the
intended for
coverage
Rickard.
was Philippi.
Broken up by
Rickard, the
Philippi.
intended receiver.
Friend said Rickard was the best athlete on the team, and he went
That'll
down.
bring
It
us
was
third
just a
and
fade
5.
pattern. He was in the right corner, went up. Philippi went up, and I thought he almost had it. Fell out though, and incomplete pass.
Yep, they've taken their shots at the end zone. Has the Lightning.
That is 1 for 5 passing for Dan in total for the game.
Handoff up the middle. Lots of dark jerseys
Number
there
13 with the
to
carry.
swallow them up, but they get close to the first down marker. Number 13 on the carry.
Prince and others with the stop.
Fourth down, fourth and short. Just shy of the 5-yard line. About a yard and a half to go, and it looks like they're going to go for it. There has been 2 missed field goals in this game by the Lightning. Dianen trailing by 20 at the start of the first quarter. Can they convert here? Number 13 up the middle. He's staying on his feet. Did he get in? He does.
Cooper with the carry. That is good for a Franklin touchdown.
And you can hear by the response of the crowd that Franklin and their fans, they've been waiting for some points to get something to cheer about there. So still plenty of time to go here.
Danon with the hold.
Deanna
Extra point
will
attempted by
hold. Extra
MacArthur.
point will be kicked by Jack MacArthur. Here's the kick, line drive kick, up and through.
The conversion is good, bringing the score to Lincoln 20. Franklin
20-7. Still a 2-score game, but if you're Lincoln, perhaps not quite as comfortable after Franklin manages to get on the board.
Here's an interesting stat. 4 touchdowns tonight, 1 extra point. One kick extra point.
Business valuation and forensic accounting. We are a group of financial professionals with diverse specialties
20-7.
in forensic accounting and business
So after
valuation.
no scoring in
Visit
the
us
third
at
quarter,
Morris Analytics
takes
for more
54
information.
seconds
Go
for some
Cardinal
points to be
football.
put on the board here in the fourth.
You know, those 2 missed extra points when you went for 2 may come back to haunt Lincoln, because all the Lightning needs to do is score 3 times to convert 3
Franklin to kick,
kicks for 1-point conversions.
and Wilmot back to receive.
Wilmot and Vidakovic back to receive. Franklin kicking left to right from the 40-yard line. End over end. Backing up to receive it at the 5-yard line. Lincoln has it. Now across the 20. Stays on his feet. Getting outside the numbers. Has some room to work with. 1 man to beat. He has a blocker. 10-5 touchdown.
95 yards for Marko Vidakovic.
Vidakovic.
Marko Vidakovic quickly gets those points back.
That is
For
good
the
a
Lincoln
Lincoln
Cardinals.
touchdown, bringing the score to Lincoln 26.
And we've seen the opposite
7.
end of that, where Lincoln has allowed a few big returns.
A
Lincoln,
96-yard last week.
Lincoln returns the favor here tonight in front of their home crowd.
You know what was great is to see Wilmot out there in front of Vidakovic.
Without Wilmot and that block, I don't believe that turns into points for the Lincoln Cardinals. Of course, they're going to go for 2 again. Philippi with the direct snap, and he's dragged from behind.
Stopped by number 13.
Number 13, our John Doe of the evening, in on the tackle. And for whatever reason, it's pretty clear at this point Lincoln's going to go for 2 each time.
Well, we watched Spencer Davies kick off, so I'm not quite sure what that decision is about.
orthopedic and fracture specialist, is honored
So,
to provide medical services to
Lincoln
Athletics
took as
program.
little time as possible
Dr. Jason Curian
to get
is
those
Lincoln's
points
team
back,
doctor.
although they gave up
Jamie
7.
Nix is Lincoln's athletic
They got
trainer.
6. I think they'll take it.
You know, we put out a crowd mic every game, and sometimes we're not quite sure where we put it. We're pretty sure this time where we put it. We put it by the Franklin coaching staff.
Oh, yeah, well, they are up there as well. Sometimes we tape it out in front of our window, but
They're boisterous. Good for them.
it went up north here tonight. It's going to be weird doing games potentially from a Lincoln home game, but not in this
Lincoln
press
to
box in the future.
Exactly.
Rickard and Magallanes back to receive.
Now let's see if the Cardinal can at least play well on a kickoff. Let's see if they try to kick this out of bounds.
So into kick is number 3. That, of course, is Spencer Davies. He just hasn't been kicking extra points. He kicks a line drive out of bounds, and we're going to see the flag there.
Flag
As
down on the play.
I'm not sure whether that was intentional or not. It was a low driving kick.
I mean, I think it was intentional for it to not kick it deep, but I don't think he planned on it not touching down in play.
The referee's standing right at the 40. I think that's where it's called out. Yep,
With
just
the penalty,
the
that'll
nose
be
of the ball on the
1st
40.
and 10 from the 40-yard line for Franklin.
Yep, so that moves it up to the 40, and it'll be 1st and 10 for Franklin, who managed to score on their last possession after a couple costly turnovers. We'll spread things out. Receivers on the far side. Now a man in motion. They hand it off to the motion man. He gets around the outside edge, stays on his feet, 1st down. Finally taken down. That was number 7 on the carry, Hernando Magallanes.
Gain of 20.
Looks like number 64 of the Lincoln defense, perhaps shaken up on the play. It's Kenya Sai. Still on the field, though. You know, Dave, you brought it to my attention that sports betting was legalized in Oregon just a few weeks ago.
And I have $20 on the Browns to win the Super Bowl.
On the Browns. I don't know if I would take that bet.
And the odds were 12-1.
Godspeed to you there. Here's a breakaway run up the middle. Staying on his feet. Finally taken down inside the red zone. Without Vidakovic there to spin him around.
34 yards on the pickup, straight up the middle.
That would have been a score for the Franklin Quakers by our mystery man, number 13.
From the 17-yard line.
You know who it very possibly is? There was some confusion before the game as to what number Isaac Porter was.
Oh, okay.
It's entirely possible that it's Isaac Porter out there, but no way to confirm. Because I don't believe we've seen a number 9.
We haven't.
And he's number 9 on our roster, and he was one guy that we were told to look out for.
All right, that could be then. I'm not sure I want to switch from number 9 to number 13.
Timeout, Franklin.
Franklin calls the timeout, so head coach Wes Warren and company will see what they can come up with here. Trailing 26-7 with 9:16 remaining here in the 4th quarter. Let's tell you about our sponsors. Once again, we have Washman. Wash it at Washman. Enjoy a sparkling clean car in only 3 minutes. Save time, save water, save rivers, and wash smart at Washman. It's better for your car and for the environment. Now at 12 convenient locations to serve you. Wash it at Washman. The Daily Feast is a hub for quick and affordable eats, serving the Lincoln community since 2016. Breakfast, lunch, brunch, and after-school specials at 837 Southwest 11th Avenue. Go Cards. Franklin, high snap, They're going to hand it off. No, they're going to keep it himself, getting to the outside. That's a first down inside the 10-yard line. Ian Deannon, he had it in the belly of number 13 and finally pulled it out at the last possible moment to gain positive yardage there, and they will set down the chains. It's now 1st and goal for the Franklin offense, and we know they gave up that kick return, but you still get the sense Franklin has some momentum on their side.
That series of riding with the tailback and then pulling the ball out has been working for Franklin.
Quarterback has the snap. Takes the handoff. He's going to keep it himself. He breaks the tackle and gets through into the end zone. Ian Deannon with the quarterback keeper into the end zone. And it's 6 more points on the board for the Franklin Cardinals. Meanwhile, it looks like a member of the Lincoln defense is down on the field.
You know, we had no scores in the 3rd quarter. Now in a span of 3.5 minutes here in the 4th quarter, we've had 3 scores.
Can't quite pinpoint who's out on the field as he's being tended to by coaching staff and training staff.
Well, we had a couple of players who kind of took a knee and wasn't sure whether they were resting or what, but we do have a player down.
No, it looks like there is some concern for who's ever out there. Recapping the action here in the 2nd half, we've had 3 scores alone here in the 4th quarter after a scoreless 3rd. One came on a kick return by the Lincoln Cardinals, and then 2 offensive scores for the Franklin Lightning. One that you just saw, that was the quarterback keeper, Ian Deannon.
2 5-yard runs for touchdowns. One we're going to assume is number 13, Porter, and then that one a 5-yard run by the quarterback, Deannon. And then, of course, the Cardinals' score was a 95-yard kickoff return by Marko Vidakovic.
So it looks like the player being brought to his feet now, number 64.
That's Kenyon Tsai.
Kenyon Tsai, who looked a little shaken up on a previous play in the 2nd half that I saw, and getting some assistance off the field. We've been surprised before, but based on the way he's walking off, I'd say his evening is done.
Looks like maybe an ankle. He's walking pretty gingerly.
Staying in with the hold. MacArthur in the kick.
MacArthur for the point after touchdown.
It was very clean. Here's a high snap, but he gets down, gets the ball down, and the kick is up and good. So a 12-point game, still 2-possession game.
Washington and Washman enjoy a sparkling clean
With
car in only
8:37
3 minutes.
remaining
Water,
on the
save
clock
rivers,
here
wash
in
smart
the
at Washington.
4th quarter.
Better
When you
for
look
your
to
car
remodel or
and for the
upgrade your
environment.
home, you want to work with a
Now,
trusted,
12
certified
convenient
remodeling
locations to serve you.
professional.
Wash it,
Homeowners
wash
in the
it.
Portland metro area have selected Wacker Remodel for over 30 years to provide them with efficient, high-quality craftsmanship for all phases of remodeling. Call Scott Wacker today at 503-539-9650 for a free consultation. Go Cardinal football. Founded in 1984, Trailblazer Foods is one of the Western United States' largest producers of preserves, jellies, and other sweetener and fruit-based products. Trailblazer Foods wishes Lincoln Cardinal football great success for 2019. Call them today at 503-666-5800 or check them out online at www.trailblazerfoods.com. So we were in this position just a few moments ago. Lincoln ran it back for a touchdown. Let's see what they can do here. It'll be Wilmot with the grab, and he's not going to go very far. He's taken down at the 26-yard line. So 8.5 minutes exactly on the clock, and Lincoln's offense will take over, leading by 12.
And Franklin clearly kicked the ball away from Vidakovic that time. Kicked it to the other side of the field to Wilmot.
So we've seen some good things here tonight from the quarterback Mario Ambrose, who has gotten all of the snaps with Jake Lightgeb out with an injury.
Jake's standing down there at the end. He's not moved from where he's been.
Handoff, getting to the outside. Now outside the numbers, has a first down and plenty more. Finally knocked out of bounds across midfield. It was Wilmot. Ran a long way on the play. Turns it into big yards.
Wilmot gets 20. Let's see where we spot this ball. 26 on the carry.
Far side hash now into Franklin territory. 1st and 10, just 10 seconds off the clock on that play. Quarterback under center, signals for a man in motion. They're going to hand it off to him. This time, give some credit to the defense. It's number 7, Fernando Magallanes, who wraps up the ball carrier. Wilmot not going far that time. He's tackled for a loss.
Correction, 14.
Wilmot now 90 yards on 11 carries. Cardinal have not had a 100-yard rusher this season.
Quarterback drops back. He's going to air it out deep on the near side. Lots of contact there. You can see Vidakovic looking for a flag, and he's going to get it late. I looked down. I didn't think he was going to get it.
Vidakovic was on the outside running down the sideline. The defender was on the inside. Vidakovic turned inside. You know, I wouldn't have called that play defensive pass interference, but, well, let's see what the call is.
We saw a flag, but it was definitely after the play.
It's
they are
defensive
signaling for the pass interference. You know, we talk about the plays or all the penalties in the NFL this season. One thing that is new is they can challenge a non-call with pass interference. That changes things up a little bit.
Exactly. I think everybody's pretty much confused what pass interference is now.
It seems like every year fans, broadcasters, and players alike are trying to determine what the changes in the rule book are.
Vidakovic was running a go route on the outside by the sideline. He turned inside because the pass was just slightly underthrown.
First and 10 from the 37. Go to the second option. No, in fact, it was kept. Fooled even me, but did not fool the defense. As the quarterback tackled for a loss.
First sack of the night for Franklin.
You got Wilmot back there in motion. I thought the ball initially ended up in the arms of Kopetz, but no, it was Ambrose all along. Franklin running out of time if they want to come back in this one. Pass is caught. Philippi running up the far sideline. We'll get up to the 39-yard line, but it'll be 3rd and long.
13 with the tackle.
Clock will continue to run. Each team with 2 timeouts remaining here in the 4th quarter.
Third down and about 13.
We have a whistle. It's a timeout called by Head coach Jeremy
Timeout,
Johnson
Lincoln.
and the Lincoln Cardinals.
Founded in 1984, Trailblazer Foods is one of Western United
Let's take a moment to tell you about our sponsors. When you want the highest quality meats and seafood, come into Phil's Meat Market in Delicatessen. Portland's original neighborhood butcher shop located in the Uptown Shopping Center on Northwest 23rd Place and Burnside.
Or check us out at trailblazerfoods.com.
Founded in 1984, Trailblazer Foods is one of the Western United States' largest producers of preserves, jellies, and other sweetener and fruit-based products. Trailblazer Foods wishes Lincoln Cardinal football great success for 2019. Call them today at 503-666-5800 or check them out online at www.trailblazerfoods.com. Wash it at Washman. Enjoy a sparkling clean car in only 3 minutes. Save time, save water, save rivers, and wash smart at Washman. It's better for your car and for the environment. Now in 12 convenient locations to serve you. Wash it at Washman. 3rd and long. Lincoln hoping to keep their offense off the field, milk some more of this clock here with 5:51 remaining. They are going to throw the ball. They throw it deep near sideline, and it's caught. Battled there just outside the 10, and Marko Vidakovic earned that reception.
26 yards on the reception, Ambrose to Vidakovic.
What wasn't even necessarily poorly defended. The defender was there and all over it.
Exactly.
But Marko Vidakovic powers his way with his hands to pull it down and move the chains. And Lincoln now threatening to put more points on the board.
Yeah, great coverage out there by the cornerback, and Vidakovic just out-muscled him for the ball.
So not quite 1st and goal at about the 12-yard line, 1st and 10. Put it back under center. He's gonna keep it. Nowhere to go, may have lost a yard.
Ambrose with the keeper. Be 2nd down.
And it looks like a defender for Franklin is down on the play.
When you look to remodel or upgrade your home, you want to work with a trusted, certified remodeling
5:26 on the
professional.
clock here in
Homeowners
the
in Portland metro
4th
area
quarter.
have selected Wacker Remodel for over 30 years to provide them with an efficient, high-quality craftsmanship for all phases of remodeling. Call Scott Wacker today at 503-539-9650 for a free consultation. Go Cardinal football.
The Daily Feast is a hub for quick and affordable eats, serving the Lincoln community since 2016. Breakfast, lunch, brunch, and after-school specials at 837 Southwest 11th Avenue. Go Cards. When you look to remodel or upgrade your home, you want to work with a trusted, certified remodeling professional. Homeowners in the Portland metro area have selected Wacker Remodel for over 30 years to provide them with efficient, high-quality craftsmanship for all phases of remodeling. Call Scott Wacker today at 503-539-9650 for a free consultation. Go Cardinal football.
All right, I got the, let's see, the player for Franklin looks like number 67.
That would be Raxley Rax. What a name. R-A-X-L-E-E. Last name R-A-X.
It'll be 2nd and short 11 for Lincoln.
PA announcer said 2nd and short 11. Is there such a thing?
No. And Lincoln up at the line of scrimmage, but the injured player has not got off the field yet.
Yeah, got to take your time. So after a big 3rd down conversion, and then a loss of 1, 2nd and 11. Handoff, getting to the outside, breaks the tackle, stays on his feet, dives forward.
Wilmot with the carry.
No signal, now we have it. It's a touchdown for Charles Wilmot. in motion. Takes it around
scored
the
the
far
Lincoln
side of the
32,
field
Franklin
and
14.
turns it into 6 more points for the Lincoln Cardinals, who now lead it 32-14.
Third touchdown of the night for Wilmot. He has 1 receiving and 2 rushing.
Now it looks like we're going to get an extra point. We had given up on them kicking in these scenarios, but Spencer Davies is in there. It's a low line drive kick, but it's through the uprights. And that's 1 more point on the board for the Cardinals. 32-14.
33, right?
Well, yeah, yes, you're right. It is 33-14. They had initially added the 1 point to the Franklin side of the scoreboard.
All right.
So it's at 32-15. I knew that wasn't right.
Enjoy a sparkling clean
But
car
33-14 with 5:09 remaining on the clock here in the fourth quarter.
For your car and for the environment. Now
So Lincoln looking to get their second victory overall on the season, first in league play. They actually have more away games than home games this season. This is one of only 4 home games scheduled. Next home game will be versus Liberty. That'll be into early October, October 4th. And then we have a Thursday game at Roosevelt. Always that one Thursday game on the schedule. We will wrap up the regular season November 1st here at home in the final home game, unless there's a playoff game, here at Mike Walsh Field. And we have a flag, delay a game on the kick, I believe.
You know, the clock's not running, but you have only so much time to put that ball in play.
Delay game.
It is a delay a game on the Cardinals.
Correction, the last extra point was kicked by Spencer Davies.
Yeah, you don't see that very often.
I don't ever recall seeing it at all. Everybody will move up 5 yards for the Lightning.
Then you see the special teams unit consult their head coach, Jeremy Johnson, now back out on the field. So pace slowing down here in the final few minutes. They'll now be kicking from the 35-yard line. Spencer Davies out there to kick off. Do you think it's at all possible they did that intentionally? There's no chance, right?
You know, thank you for bringing that to my attention, because that is a possibility. Things have not been going well on kickoff. Move it back 5 and try to kick it still, you know, low, close, or whatever. But you can kick it a little harder.
They're still taking their time out there. Okay, now we have the whistle. Here we go. Line drive kick, takes a few bounces, picked up there at the 24-yard line. And stays on his feet, spun around, knocked out of bounds by number 58.
Very efficient tackle that time by number 58 for the Lincoln Cardinal.
That's
and that
the
is
senior Declan Skinner. We've got some good names on both of these rosters. There's a guy on the Franklin Lightning by the name of Sam Farber. That's an old broadcast partner of mine. He's doing big things in the broadcasting world down in Southern California.
Okay.
He's also a young man on the Franklin Lightning. He's a big kid. Stands in at 6'4". His name is Antonio Tinhofer dos Santos.
Flag on the play.
Now we have a flag on the field. I mentioned the pace slowing down.
Wow, you know, after one penalty like in the first half, all of a sudden we've had like 5 in the last minute.
So false start will back up things for the Franklin offense, 5 yards. 5:02 on the clock. Quarterback looks to his left, under pressure, and holding on, number 32 of the defense, Gus Togney.
Think of the situation. You're on a pass rush. Nobody blocked you. You're coming at the quarterback. The quarterback looks to unload. You jump up in the air to block the ball, and you come down on top of the quarterback.
Over 5.
You came down and just wrapped him around by the ankle.
It'll be 3rd and 20.
A loss of 10 on the play. Actually, a little more than that. Looks like about a loss of 12. So 2nd and long. Quarterback signaling to push the receivers out a little further. And they're going to run it up to the 35-yard line, make it to 34.
6. Wilmot with a stop.
That's interesting. You don't see that too often with the quarterback signaling for the receivers to reposition.
The slot receiver and the outside receiver on the right, he was signaling them to move further out. I think he saw that the cornerback had moved closer to the inside of the field, anticipating a run. Franklin's got to be mindful. There's 3:40 left in this game. He can't be running the ball.
You know, Wes Warren doesn't tend to throw it too often, although we have seen some pass attempts in this game. We're going to see another, but quarterback's under pressure. He takes a big shot. The ball is loose. Are they going to say that's a live ball? The players are certainly acting like it.
Nobody blocked Vodakovic, and he just came on the rush and just hammered the quarterback. The ball came loose. Question is, was his arm in motion or not?
Well, Lincoln came up with it.
Lincoln with the recovery.
And they're going to say they recovered the ball.
Monster hit that time by Marko Vodakovic.
So a forced fumble and a recovery by the Lincoln Cardinals. Vodakovic, he's done a little bit of everything in this game on both sides of the ball.
You know, when you line up and you're lined up on the outside on the line, you're coming on the rush, you count the number of blockers and you count the number of people who are coming, and the people coming are one more than the people who are blocking.
Lincoln takes over at the
Somebody's got a free shot.
I, as a fan of this game, of course, as Lincoln's offense is back out on the field with just over 3 minutes remaining. Here's the snap, handoff, no gain. I think defensively forced turnovers are one of the most exciting plays in the game. Obviously, you don't see them very often, and sometimes, especially as broadcasters, we might give more coverage to the offense, but those defensive plays, pure excitement. And especially now in the world we live in, where fantasy football gets all the coverage, where primarily you're focusing on offensive players, sometimes the defense is the one that makes the difference.
Franklin still has 2 timeouts if they want to take one. My guess is they'll take one after this play.
No 2-minute warning here at this level. Handoff for about 4, maybe 5 yards to Brady Kopetz.
I was watching the TV today, and they had one of the San Diego Chargers retired linemen on, and they asked him, is there anybody who you just couldn't handle? And he said, every time Von Miller lined up across from me, he said, I'd turn around to the quarterback and say, here he comes.
Von Miller, Super Bowl winner with the Denver Broncos. How about the injuries in the NFL this year, especially at the quarterback position?
Wow.
However, some backups are making the most of the opportunity. Minshew of the Jaguars having himself a good game last night.
Having himself a good time.
Absolutely. He looks like he's having fun out there. Quarterback takes a slide after a couple of white jerseys converge on him.
Franklin will take one of those timeouts now.
So Lincoln just looking to run out the clock with 1:32, but it'll be 4th down. We've talked about their struggles in special teams. We'll see if they decide to go for it here on 4th down.
4th down.
Wouldn't be surprised if they did so. just milk as much clock as possible.
You were talking about quarterbacks, injured in the NFL. Both these teams started tonight
You're
with backup
absolutely
quarterbacks.
right. Yeah, we expected a matchup of Jake Lightgeb and Jake Rowe, the battle of the Jakes. We didn't get it. But nonetheless, it's been a good game. Both quarterbacks have played well. Ian Deannon doing some damage with his legs. Meanwhile, for the Lincoln Cardinals, Mario Ambrose, a couple touchdown passes himself. And we have another whistle. Is it Lincoln calling a timeout? I think it might be. I didn't see an official signal, though. Oh, it is Lincoln's final timeout on the ball game. That'll give us a moment to tell you about Phil's Meat Market. When you want the highest quality meats and seafoods, come into Phil's Meat Market and Delicatessen, Portland's original neighborhood butcher shop located in the Uptown Shopping Center on Northwest 23rd Place and Burnside.
5800, or check us out at trailblazerfoods.com.
All right, Lincoln up big, 33-14. This one's just about in the books with 1:32 on the clock. Lincoln calling their final timeout. Franklin with one remaining. 4th down upcoming. It's 4th and long. Lincoln just looking to milk the clock here. Overall for Lincoln, a good game, as we mentioned, with their backup quarterback taking all the snaps from that position.
Cardinals will be 2-1. Franklin will drop to 0-3.
Head coach Wes Warren mentioned before the game that morale, despite their record and a tough loss last week, as here's a deep pass on the near side. It's caught at the 10-yard line. He stays on his feet, and it's a touchdown for number 4, Justice Lowe, the sophomore. They've taken a couple shots at Lowe this game. I know head coach Jeremy Johnson wanted to get him involved, and they get him involved at the last possible moment. And give him a lot of credit for not just giving up on the play. Once he made the reception, he managed to stay on his feet and get into the end zone.
3rd touchdown pass of the night for Mario Ambrose.
Excellent game for that young man, and Spencer Davies will be in to kick the extra point. See if they can make it an even 40 points on the night. For Lincoln, they scored 42 a week ago, as they do in fact put the 40th point on the board. So back-to-back games with 40 points or more.
Again, not to belabor the point, but Coach Johnson told us we're going to get our player number 4 involved in this game, and he has.
Yeah, Justice Lowe, just a sophomore, but a big kid, 6'1", 160. Has shown some hops in this ball game. He's actually the tallest member of the receiving corps. Actually, Wilmot stands in at 6'2", so not quite there.
Get Lowe and Vidakovic working together on the outside. Potent attack.
They have some weapons for sure. That was one position that perhaps Wes Warren didn't always have at his disposal when he was here as the head coach for the Lincoln Cardinals.
Dalton and Magianes in to receive.
No 300-yard passing night tonight for the Cardinals, but a completely effective night throwing the ball.
Absolutely. Here's the kick. They're going to keep it on the ground. Takes a couple dribbles. Finally picked up there at the 20-yard line. Kicks it outside. Now back inside the numbers. Stays on his feet. Really struggling with the tackling is the special teams unit. Finally knocked out of bounds.
Dalton with a return.
And that was Talton that we talked about earlier, number 2.
Yep, and 58 for Lincoln. That's Declan Skinner.
He's been involved in a number of big hits tonight.
Finally able to knock down
Franklin will take over, 1st and 10 from the 47.
I like Talton returning the ball.
All right, so you got ones across the board. 1 minute, 11 seconds remaining in the ball game. Franklin coming into the game, talking to head coach Wes Warren. They said their morale was high despite their 0-2 start. They're going to be 0-3, but they've got a short bus ride home as quarterback stays on his feet in the backfield. Gets a couple yards.
Shane, we had 20 points in the first 3 quarters. We've had 34 here in the fourth.
Cogney with a stop.
Yeah, things have changed dramatically after a scoreless third quarter. And the clock continues to run. Franklin still has a timeout. Doesn't look like they're going to be using it here. I think they're just about done here. They're going to run one more play.
Rickard is wide to the right. Let's see if they throw the ball to him.
Receivers spread out. And it's going to be another quarterback keeper. Gets some excitement on the outside, but finally knocked down and out of bounds, so that will stop the clock with 9.2 remaining.
Timeout, Franklin.
Dan looked like he wanted to get to the end zone.
Franklin does use their timeout. So we'll see at least one more play here with the ball spotted at the 24-yard line on the far hash mark. If you're Lincoln, you got to hold your head high coming out of this ball game after a disappointing loss a week ago. But they will be 1-0 in league play. They were co-PIL champions a year ago under first-year head coach Jeremy Johnson. Wes Warren, of course, won the PIL championship each year he was the coach. But for Franklin, they're going to be 0-2 in league play. 0-3 overall. One more play. Quarterback looking to his right. Thrown into coverage, tipped, and incomplete. So now
still time on the clock, 1.6 seconds.
We'll see at least one more. 1.6 on the clock, 40-14. That will likely be our final score, but Franklin's going to have one more opportunity to add points on the board.
Unless there's a defensive penalty.
That's true. We could see a final play with 0 seconds. Quarterback looking to his right, has a man. It's caught there. A couple defenders there to stop him. Stays on his feet. He's going to cut across. And he has some green in front of him. And coming all the way across the field. He might not have made the final tackle, but that was Marko Vidakovic coming out of nowhere.
Vidakovic saw that Rickard was going to score unless somebody got over there and tackled him, and he came about 10 yards diagonally in the last second to tackle him, stop the touchdown.
None of these kids, regardless of the score, regardless of the clock at 0, maximum effort, both from Ricard on the offense and Vidakovic on the defense. But that will do it here from Mike Walsh Field. The lights are on. Families will gather at midfield in just a few moments to celebrate a Lincoln Cardinal victory over the Franklin Lightning. Lincoln improves to 2-1 on the season, 1-0 in league play. Meanwhile, for the Franklin Lightning, 0-2 in league play.
It was 12-1 at the end of one. Lincoln led. Lincoln with the touchdown and a 2-point conversion in the second quarter. 20-0 at halftime. Neither team scored in the third, and so by the end of the third quarter, it was 20-0, 20 points in this game. But a very, very explosive fourth quarter. Lincoln put up 20 points in the fourth quarter alone. Franklin 14. That made our final score 40-14.
Well, Dave, coming into this game, we heard it was going to be more of a balanced attack, and we certainly saw that from the offense. Meanwhile, Jake Lightning, hoping to see that young man return, but meanwhile, they see a lot of promise from the sophomore Mario Ambrose, and he certainly got the job done here tonight.
You know, the two big players for Lincoln that have carried the team here the first couple of games came through again tonight. Charles Wilmot with 3 touchdowns. Vodakovich with a big long touchdown on a kickoff return, a pass completion, some amazing play on defense, both pass coverage and on that last tackle at the end of the game. They have been playing well all season long. Tonight, Mario Ambrose comes through at quarterback. The Cardinals look like they've got it going offensively. It's just a matter of making sure the defense holds up and doing something about kickoff coverage.
We heard before the game Jeremy Johnson wanted to add to the arsenal. I think they found something in Justice Lowe, who got a big reception and touchdown towards the end of the game. Well, I think that's going to do it for our game broadcast. For everybody behind the scenes here at Oregon Sports Beat and my broadcast partner, Dave Hall, I'm Shane Downey. Once again, your final score from Mike Walsh Field. The Lincoln Cardinals are winners 40-14 over the Franklin Lightning.